Some Doom Tower bosses are so difficult. For today, we're going to break down some champions and some strategies on how to beat Scarab King. Today we're fighting the Scarab King, and I've tried to go in with a team and really just auto it, and then I realized we need to pay attention to what he actually does, Cece. It doesn't work that way. We can't just toss things in and expect it to work. I do that a lot with a lot of my teams. I toss champs in and I'm like, go for it. Go get him. However, there are certain things we need to consider here. So he is going to be immune, of course, to all of the things that we're used to, like the stun, the freeze, the sleep provoke, things like that. Also counterattacks when attacked by an enemy that has no shield buff, which means we want shield and we want to be able to keep it up as often as possible. And then he also can steal a random buff from enemies that have no shield buff, removes a random buff under shield buff. So all of this, essentially, we want to make sure we've got shield on us. But then the next thing here that we want to make sure we have is some kind of turn meter reduction. So we want shields and we want to be able to essentially have some kind of turn meter control going on in here. And I mean, a cleanse is always nice to see. So there's other like methods we can use as well in terms of gear and things like that, but we're kind of going along with champions here and figuring out who can I use in my team that's actually going to work in here. So I do think it's safe to say that we should bring along Cernic and Sify. These are kind of my go-tos in here. So he essentially has a shield buff on all allies for 2 turns. That's amazing. Of course, we have Sify. Now, anybody who also extends buffs would also be really, really useful here. And as I said, we want some turn meter control. So we're going to bring in a Cold Heart. I'm also considering bringing in a Geomancer as well. I do think he's one that could potentially be helpful here because we do have this, the turn meter control with this champion as well. So he is a potential. But as I said, I do need somebody that is going to extend buffs, but then I feel like I'm also lacking a little bit of damage in here, so some adjustment might need to be done in my team. But really we want to focus on like the shields, the turn meter control in trying to get past them, because autoing so far has actually not worked. For the last slot on my team, I've been kind of thinking of a couple possibilities in here, and one of the ones I think I'm actually going to try to bring along, see how she does, is actually going to be Alice. And part of that is we can do damage with her skills, but she does also have here with the turn meter control as well, so I think she could be a good potential to actually bring along in here. Now, as I said, there's definitely a few different options that you can use. I have Sir Nick for shields, and I think he'd be pretty good there. But another option, Michelangelo, he has a really good active effect with his passive, but places a shield buff equal to 300% of this champion's attack on this champ for 1 turn when they receive a hit. And then he has his other skills that all of this combined, I think, would be super beneficial going into there. Now, mine is 50. He's not quite fully built out yet, but it does give you an idea of somebody else that can potentially work in here. I'm going to go ahead and let these guys kind of auto through until I get to the next stage. I will already stop it here and essentially see and make sure I have everybody's skills on cooldown. So go ahead and not auto, but attack everyone. Cernic is also a pretty good attacker that I have on my side. Really, really happy I pulled that champion. I understand he was a fusion at some point. I managed to just pull him from a void shard and so happy about that. So he's a good one. There you go. See some of the damage that she can do? And then I do have my reviver as well with Sify if things don't go our way, you know? So a few things to consider in here. Let's go ahead. We'll buff ourselves up here. And then I think we will already deplete that turn meter, because we do want to try to keep that as pretty much as far down as we possibly can. And then I just have to kind of pay attention to the skills really as much as I can here. So make sure I am buffed up, and then turn meter control. So I want to try to alternate those turn meter skills that I've got going on. Don't really have any buffs. We can go ahead and use that anyway. That's fine. There you go. So you see all those debuffs that we blocked right there? That's essentially what we want. We need to be able to block the debuffs or cleanse as much as possible. Hopefully this can land. Turn meter control a little bit. As long as I can like stick with that, then we're good. I do wish some of my champs were booked out here because they're not necessarily. Oh, he's gonna go off there. Resisted. Okay, that's not bad. Stole the buff, but the only annoying thing is essentially the stealing of the buffs that we've got going on. Now, a cleanse would also be really good in here. So that is another thing to consider. You got a champ that actually cleanses, another really good option. So turn meter control. I will say between Cece and Sir Nick, though, I should be able to keep up with the heal. So this is really the strategy that I'm using for it. But you could see the amount of debuffs that you potentially can be hit with. The nice thing is that skill right there, which removes buff from enemy targets. Because then if he does manage to, let's say, steal one of my buffs, I can go ahead and use Geomancer's skill to kind of counter that. So I do think he's a good option in here as well. But it really does depend on who you've got on your team and who you can bring along. But this is the strat that I am going with this time. Might as well get some poison going on. He's gonna move soon. I don't have enough turn meter control to be able to really keep him down the full time. And again, my champs aren't booked fully. Like Siffi's booked, Cernic is not booked, Alice is not booked. Coldheart, yes. Geomancer, I think he actually is as well. To be fair, I don't think I want to use that yet. I'll go with the first skill and cycle back to it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and use his skill. I do think it doesn't make, hopefully, it should come back around to me. There you go. We didn't get it with that one, so now I should hopefully be able to go in with Geomancers. Oh, the provoke, see? The unfortunate timing, the provoke. That messed me up right there. Having a provoke. So I do think if I brought a cleanse along, that might be better. It's the only thing I'm really missing. But it's not enough that I'm in the red zone and I'm kind of worried. Like Coldheart, she's weak. I could always revive with Cece though, if she does manage to die. There you go. So she, third skill with her. I've got his turn meter down, so by the time it comes back to Geomancer and he's not under a provoke, then I should be good to cycle through and use his. I feel like my Coldheart right now is just barely hanging on. You ever look at your champs and just be like, oh, you need better gear? That's definitely me right now, but that's okay. We're making it work. There you go. Speed. Get that provoke off us, please. Oh, he's gonna go again. Stole the buff. That's okay. It's actually not too bad what he stole. Coldheart, though. I'm just waiting for her to go down. May as well use the skill 3. I was hanging on to it, but then he's just gonna get provoked, which he did here. There you go. Coldheart went down. As expected. Only I had the unkillable and the cleanse up then. That's unfortunate. Okay, so... Decrease the... Oh. I think I need to regear Alice, to be honest. She can do so much, and I feel like I haven't given her the gear that really allows her to shine. So unfortunate. He's so close. Like, he's almost... I shouldn't say, like, almost dead. He's not almost dead, but look at that. His HP bar is so low. There you go. Decrease buff duration. At this point, I'm thinking, I think I need to book my Sir Nick. And I think I asked you guys at some point, I was like, do you guys think he's worth booking him? But honestly, now that I'm thinking about him, I really do have him as a staple on so many of my teams. I think we're going to go ahead and book our Sir Nick next. With all the champs that I have and I'm using, he's definitely a consistent go-to for me in a lot of areas of the game. I use him in PvE, I use him PvP. He's almost a part of like almost all my dungeon teams too. Oh, see, it's that. Come on. Nice, nice. Reduce the cooldown. I have the provoke on Cece now, so I can't actually revive with her. So I will say with this team, the cleanse is really kind of what I'm missing here. That would be huge. There you go. We're going to go ahead and revive Coldheart. Skill 3. Ooh, decrease that the turn meter. That's perfect. And then we just need to survive all this. Yeah, there we go. And then made it through onto the next one. If you download Raid Shadow Legends using my link, I'm actually going to start you off with the free legendary champion on day 1. And then at level 10, level 20, and level 30, you'll get yourself an epic. That is 4 amazing champions that you can get just by downloading using my link. That's it for today's video. Hopefully it helped show if you have been struggling with this boss. If nothing else, at least I get to accomplish with you guys that I managed to beat him and move on to the next floor. So be sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, and comment down below and let me know what strategy do you use. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!